Good morning, you guys. Happy Tuesday, April 26, 9:14 a.m. Eastern Time. We're waking up this morning. Currently, right now, futures are gapping down slightly red. Top headline, Pepsi raises revenue outlook as earnings beat estimates despite higher cost. And also, big headlines, Elon Musk buying Twitter for how much was it? It was insane. Insane. I can't believe he paid that much still for Twitter. $40 billion, something like that. 44 billion. Wild move for Twitter. Home prices jumped nearly 20% in February, but slowdown may be coming. So the sell-off is looking like it's still going to continue with the indexes. Take a look quickly here at the SPY. Going in now, the last 4 trading days, the S&P has been getting drilled down. We bottomed out and had a nice end of day rally. We're pulling back. Maybe we got to break up over that 430 in the previous day's close to get a nice good push on this. We'll see how she sets up. Top stock that ran yesterday, we had a couple of them. NKTX running up from 8 all the way up to a high of $20. It's currently gapping down slightly to 16. And then they priced upsized 200 million equity offering. 200 million equity offering. So be aware of that. The stock did 109 million in volume yesterday. And as you see, looking at the daily chart with NKTX, it came right up to that 200-day moving average, that red line. Kissed it. Now we're gapping down slightly lower. ATER's getting a good pop pre-market. This one was in play recently. Sold off for the next 4 or 5 days, bottomed out at this $4. Now it's getting a good run to the upside. Up to almost $6 a share. We were keeping an eye on this, but then I took it off my radar yesterday because it wasn't doing anything. So it may have already done its bounce. ATER. That's a big run up non-stop. Starting yesterday at 4. Non-stop all the way up just over 5, and now pre-market it's running up to almost 6. And when you look up at that daily chart, same scenario, just like that NKTX, it's bouncing right up to that 200-day moving average and $6. That's probably going to be the top for it. ATER. Any type of continuation, it's got to get up over 6. Or let's see if it pulls back down. Pulls back down here to 5. This $5 area, and we get a bounce on it potentially. SBFM. This one was holding up at $4 all day yesterday. But now it cracked and it's down below 4, down there near 350. This has got to come back and reclaim $4 for any type of potential. SKYH was a good one yesterday. Running up from 7 all the way up to a high of $11. Gotta love small cap stocks. They just present opportunity every single day. Nice $5 run up. SKYH going into a nice range right here after it had a nice run up to 11, pulling back to $10. Nice psychological level, $10 right above that VWAP. Many scalp opportunities on it there from 11 a.m. all the way up until where it cracked here at 2 o'clock. So 3 hours. This was in a range, a nice $1 range. It's still got potential and it's in play. It's got to break back up over 1050 for people to be interested in it. Still got a lot of room to bounce too. So we'll keep SKYH on the back burner. What else we got going on here? VERU. That was another runner from yesterday. This one ran up from $11 to $14. Now it's pulling back down. I'm going to say, let's see if we can hold up at, I want to say 13 or 1250. Let's see. There's a few ways you can do this. You can measure from a few days ago, that low. We got 50% there at 1250. Right there. Or we could measure yesterday's move from the low there yesterday up to the high. Looks like it's surrounded 1250. That's where I'm seeing some clusters. $12.50. That's going to be the area for VERU. See what's gapping up here. MX semiconductor gapping up to 18. That's right up where the 200-day moving average is. That looks like the theme this morning. Seeing a lot of stocks gapping up or near a 200-day moving average on the daily chart. Red box looking like it wants to have a nice continuation. After bottoming here at 3, just below 3, yesterday it had a good run up, topping out near 450. Trying to battle that 450 again. $4 is going to be your line for Redbox today. Netflix still has not bounced. After that big drop off from negative subscribers, 1, 2, 3, 4, going into day 5, still 0 bounce on Netflix. Just goes to show you, just because stocks fall off a cliff, they do not have to bounce. Remember, stocks do not have to do anything. Some people see this as a bargain for Netflix. Some don't. Who knows what Netflix does? It could fall right through 200 because the indexes have been just getting destroyed recently, and they have not made any sign yet of bottoming out. See what else we got gapping up here real quick. Nothing really that's catching my eye. We got BTU. This one looks like a good one. Looks like it bottomed out here yesterday at 23, and it's trying to gear up and level up there at 24, 25. This one could get a good run today up near potentially 27. BTU. Let's throw this one up. Markets are about to open in about 5 minutes. Check on INDO. After this one collapsed up near $24 here, all the way down to 18 bucks. Nice little pop there to 20.50. Then down to 17.50, and it's trying to rebattle that 20 bucks. Let's keep an eye on energy and gas today. I'm gonna throw INDO up too. You know what was a wild stock yesterday was that DOGZ. This one was a pretty wild one the last 2 days. After it free fell here from $6.50 down to $2. It had a nice bounce up here to $4. And then yesterday from 330s, 325, it had a good rip up to almost 450. It's pretty topped out, it looks like, though. Who knows? Today you could see a nice pop on it to 5. But man, this stock can drop. It can drop hard. Look at the candles on this from yesterday. Pretty scary candles. It's like every green candle was met with a death candle. Look at all these nasty candles. Can't hold its gains at all. So this is the type of stock I'd stay away from. KSCP. Let's take a look. It's got to get volume. KSCP. It did get drilled down super hard. It needs a press release or something, you know? Something to attract volume. That's what it needs. I'm thinking going into the open, the top 2 stocks I would have on my radar, SKYH, NKTX. But the thing with NKTX is that offering, that equity offering. 200 million. I don't think they did it yet. No, what they did was they priced it and they upsized. They priced it and upsized a 200 million equity offering. So I think it's like a warning. I'd be careful with that. We still got LGVN. I forgot about this one. Yeah, watch out for LGVN to continue squeezing up because it's still technically holding its uptrend. LGVN, this isn't for like newer traders because the spread between the bid and the ask and the price movement is going to freak you out. So newer traders out there, I'd stay away from LGVN. Be careful with your size. Now the markets are open. See what opportunities set up for us today. A lot of people are going to be jumping in on Redbox, RDBX. Up over $5, Redbox has a lot of room to run. Yep, SKYH, we already talked about it. It's still in play. Got to get back up over 1050. See, with Redbox here, right here, about 525, it'll run up to. We break up over that 525, we'll run up here. 660s. Got a lot of room to run. It could run all the way up here to $9.50, almost $10. BTU's getting a good rip. Nice $1 rip. There goes SKYH. $9.50 rips up to $10.50 just like that. Up over that $10.50, that's going to be the trigger. It'll skip up to 11. And if it breaks up over 11, this thing's really going to start running. But markets just opened 3 minutes ago. Let it open up and let's see what. Let's let this market prove to us. Yep, we talked about ATER being up at that 200-day moving average as well. Good eye. Yep, you know what you're looking out for, man. Up over that $6 though, ATER. It's got to get up over 6 and hold over 6 for any type of continuation move. But you got to look at it right now with ATER. It just ran up non-stop. Consolidation, run up. How much more you think it can run up non-stop, you know? from $4 up to $6. That's a $2 move to the upside nonstop, pretty much. Sure, it paused and took a break here after hours, but still, when you look at it, that's a straight move up nonstop. Look at the 10-minute. So I think ATER, yeah, see, look at that flush. It needs to pull back down near this $5 area and regroup. That's why you stay away from trading the first 15 minutes of the trading day. You don't know truly which direction these stocks want to go. They're still deciding. Once a stock chooses a direction, chances are it's going to continue going in that direction. Yep, INDO is battling that 20 bucks. Be careful with INDO. INDO, this isn't for newer type of traders. You're going to see a wide spread between the bid and the ask, and you're going to see prices skip up and down. This is a stock that will freak out newer traders. See, look what happened to BTU. Rips up from 2470s up to 26 and look at that downfall. So far we've been seeing some nasty moves across the board. Look at Redbox too. From 440 it rips up to 470s with that upper wick, right back down. It's down near $4. Look at SKYH. Same story and scenario. Look at that candle with the bottom and upper wicks right there. It's a tug of war going on between the bears and the bulls. They're fighting for the upper hand. Let them fight it out. No need to jump in on a tug of war. SKYH, it's got a lot of room to run. Remember that 10-minute time frame. From 43.50 it sold off nonstop all the way down to 6. The stock can run all the way up to 20 bucks. $15, $20. INDO starting to skip up there. Broke up over that 20, skipped up to 21. Not sure what's going on with this one. OI. Look at that daily chart. It's a pretty volatile stock. No history of volume though, really. Yeah, look at that explosion on Twitter. 51 explodes up to 52.20s. That's as high as it's gonna go. It's a buyout. VLON. Yeah, it's still worth watching. Looking at INDO, this one could skip up to 23. Let's see. Gonna be hard with DWAC because it's kind of like in a downtrend right there. Gonna find resistance right there at like 38.50. This SWVL could have a comeback. Breaks up over 850. This thing could skip. This is that new name IPO. Netflix is still getting crushed. Netflix is about to fall through 200. That's gonna free fall hard. I'm gonna keep my eye on SWVL here. It's on its 5th straight green day. SWVL. Like we said, clean break over 850. This one could really start running. I could see it running up to 10, breaking up over 10. The stock has proven it likes to run multiple times. Here's $8. Let's see how it reacts here at 8. Needs to hold up above that blue line, the previous day's close. You know what also has a good setup at the corner of my eye? NEGG. LGVN is still holding too. Redbox, I think, give that time. This SWVL, it's only got 165,000 in volume. So we'd be super early to the party if this decided to go. I'm gonna put a price alert at $7.95. There goes SKYH. She held at that 1050, the green line we plotted out this morning. Needs a clean break. If it pulls back, it's got to hold up at 1125. The NEGG, that's got a good look to it. That can run up to 750. It's holding. So far, it's holding. Not in on it or anything. We haven't seen any strength yet in the market in general. I'm really watching that SWVL. This one looks good. Getting really, really tight with the SKYH. It's holding at my green line though. That's a good thing. Yeah, how is Tesla doing? Stalled out at that 1,000 all the way down to 960s. I see 4 potential setups. 4, 5. LGVN, SKYH, SWVL, VERU, and EGG. LGVN's gonna run up and test 13. VERU, this could come back and squeeze up over that $14. Have this on the lookout. It held 13. I think SKYH goes, man. Shorts are underwater. Gotta think shorted it after they seen it topped out over 11 and it crumbled down here to 9. They wake up the next day, it's gapping up and ripping, they have to cover. So it's looking like it wants to squeeze when you look at the big picture of it. It's holding up well. SWVL, that flushed out hard. Yeah, SKYH is taking a minute to get up and going. It's a real struggle, huh? It's technically holding, though. There they go, running it up to 12. Breaks up over 12, she's gone. Makes perfect logical sense, though. Topping out up there just above 11 multiple times, and when it started to crumble and fall apart at the end of the day, shorts all start piling in. They hold it overnight and wake up the next morning and it's gapping up and it gets a good morning rip. All those short sellers have to cover, causing prices to rip up even higher. You just have to know the story and what's being unfolded and what's playing out. That helps with your confidence in what's going on. So far, from the open, $9.50, it rips up to 12. That's a $2.50 rip from the open. That's a good move. They're up to here now. $2.50. That's good. Yep, it needs a reset. It's gonna flush out. I'm thinking 1050. Look at BTU. That's a good comeback. BTU's looking super bullish. Look at that 10-minute. This has got room to over 26, run up to 27. BTU. And then INDO is getting a good gear up for a rip up higher. INDO can rip up here to about 23.50. That's $3 up. Yeah, there's a good rip on FRGE. 12.50 skips up to $16. $3.50 skips to the upside. Damn, SKYH, you're still going. What's gonna happen with this grinding up? They're gonna let it go, and it's gonna go euphoric, and then it's gonna crash. They're going to exhaust it. Non-stop, all that volume flowing into it. Looks better here on the 3-minute BTU. You look at this. It all started right here with this somewhat of a wedge that it formed right here. And it just built up off of that. Nice push up. Pulls back. Holds at 24. Get a nice gap up this morning right here. Nice rip. And it pulls back. And it's holding at 2450s. Just building and building and building in levels. Breaks up over that 26. 2550, 26. It's going to push up here to about 27. About right there. See that psychological $20 right there. See how it rips up over that to 21. It pulls back. Those psychological price levels, I tell you guys all the time how important they are. Right off of it, back up to 21. And if we break up over that, the potential high for this to run up to is up here. 2350s. We got all that room here to run. VERU coming right back up to that 14. This could definitely squeeze up higher. Yeah, FRGE, newer traders, stay away from this type of stock. It's not for newer traders. FRGE, technically, it's got to hold up above 14. Still considered bullish. I think. Don't break yet, BTU. Pull back down here to 25. There goes VERU though. It's squeezed up over 14. Ran up to 1460s now. Beautiful rip. Yeah, those low volume stocks, and especially low volume stocks that are a low float, you got to be careful with those. Ideally, I would like for BTU to pull back down to 25, then break up over 26. There's a squeeze going on here, though, on the 3-minute with these moving averages, the VWAP and the 13 EMA. VERU still going. She's got a lot of room to run. She'll run right back up here to 16, 17. The stock could see $20 today. Oh yeah, Sava had a good rip. Good call, Rome. $20.50. Nice run up to $24.50. Looking like $21.50 for Sava. It's gonna be your level. $21.50 and just above that red moving average here for support. And then what it did too, you had that error in the chart right there with the gap. It came up and it filled that gap. So that was a good one. This NEGG, it's still building. This one's got potential. It's got potential to run up to 750 as we called out earlier. VERU, it's starting to get a bit overextended. Needs a pullback. I'm going to say if it pulls back, you're going to want to see $14 hold up. 14 and that previous day's close. Everything's correlating to $14. And then even yesterday, when it topped out, all near $14. So 14 is going to be your area. Yeah, SWVL is still hanging in there. This thing could definitely come back and rip up even higher. It's an earshot away from its highs. Any momentum in on this runs back up, breaks up over that $9 up there. In a blink of an eye, it's going to be right back near its all-time highs at 1050. And people love stocks that are at all-time new highs. It's definitely worth keeping an eye on. That's why I put an alert at 795. So if it ever comes back and rips up, SKYH is still holding up like a champ. This could continue to squeeze up higher. I'll put a target on SKYH. I'm going to say 16. I'm going to say $15 for SKYH. Now look at that. ATER found support at 5. Eventually, a little bit down the road, you got a nice little squeeze setting up and forming here with the moving averages, as that 55 EMA is coming up to that 233 EMA. And SKYH, it's looking good for a continuation squeeze. As long as it holds over 1150, that's your line. BTU tops out at 26, so let's see if I can get that pullback to 25. Build off that 25, break up over 26 later on. I like BTU. Watch SKYH. crazy when the market and the indexes are getting drilled down like that. All the opportunity that pops up in the Wild West. Small cap land, huh? It's almost like they're their own entity. And when you look at it too, like the stock bot, the most popular stocks today, Twitter, SPY, Tesla, the Qs, all large cap stocks. Even though we are in earnings season, everybody's talking about these stocks as they're getting drilled down lower. Twitter's the number one stock, but it had a buyout. They ain't gonna go much higher. The price is already factored in. But you don't really hear anybody talking about these small cap stocks that are popping off. SKYH, VERU, BTU, all these stocks. SKYH, it sure is gearing up right here. Gotta hold that 1150. If that 1150 cracks, she's gonna sink down to 11. But we've seen stuff like this before where stocks are squeezing and they get a little pullback like this, a real tight pullback, and as it gears up, and then you just see a big, huge surge, and it runs up into a halt. BTU's at $25. Watch for 25 to hold up on BTU. See, there's that crack. 1150 on SKYH. See how she reacts right here. Everybody's putting their stop losses just below that. The crazy thing with this too, SKYH, this is why I'm not really a fan too of using hard stops, like just below like 1150, because they could bring it down to like 1140, 1130, 1135, and then rip it right back up. I like to try to base my risk reward off of these psychological levels. Like, if I was to have gotten in on this, my stop loss would be down below 11. I would want to give the stock room to move and breathe, do its thing. And if it stops you out, you took a stab at it. Let's see though. I'm curious. I'll put a line here at, if I can get it, $11. See if it falls below that. VERU continues to run up. 1550. $2.50 run up today. Yeah, that's another good topic there. If you don't have a hard stop, things could get ugly and crumble and fall apart quickly. Yup. What I'm trying to get across, most importantly, is I like to give stocks room to breathe and move. So if I was to have entered in on this up here as it was pulling back 1170s, I can't really put a hard stop at 1150s because it'd play mind games with you, and you got to think about the people who are under PDT. See, majority of my viewers, I'm streaming here on YouTube, most people, they're not over PDT. People don't have $25,000 or more just lying around and able to fund a full trading account and could trade unlimited. So being under PDT, you're limited on how much you can day trade, and having hard stops like that, they could play mind games with you. I've been there. Trust me. I've been there trying to put together a plan on something like this, not giving it enough room to move around, get stopped out, take a loss, and then later on in the day come back and the stock explode up and do exactly as I thought. We've all had it happen to us. That's where it comes into stock selection and going with your gut. It's definitely hard. Admitting defeat, I would say. What's that word? Ego? Letting your ego get the best of you? Nobody likes to admit when they're wrong. Nobody. Back to BTU real quickly. Right off of that, 25 bucks up to 25.50. So with BTU, 25 is going to be the level. And with something like this, what I would have done, getting in near that 25 in this area, my stop loss would be down here, 24.50, below there. That's why having the proper size for these types of stocks and how volatile it is super important. And that's why I say trading strategies differ from person to person. See, if I was to give out alerts when to buy or sell, somebody may not know or realize how loose I am with giving stocks room to move and breathe, and they could overlook that with their size. They could go balls to the wall, buying 5,000, 10,000 shares and then having a super tight stop of 10, 15 cent and then totally screw the strategy up, We've talked about this topic many, many times before. LGVN still holding that uptrend, working for that 13 break. SKYH falling down below 11. This is going to probably fall down near 10 bucks. Pulling back tightly though. Volume's retracing on it. LLAP trying to round out. Daily chart looks good on it. Like how it's gearing up right here. Nice pullback, almost like it's gearing up for that next leg up. Super light volume though on it. You can tell nobody's really interested in it. But 556 every 50 cent. Those are your levels for a stock like this. That was a good bounce on BTU off that 25. Now we'll pull back down to that VWAP. Let it build up later on for that 26 break. It's looking good. Look at that. Perfect. It's like, remember that video? Well, look at right here. It started to free fall right here. It wedged out, continued to go down lower, and then it leveled out right here, but it stalled out right there at 28. And it continued to get drilled down even more. All the way down to 23. Finally bottomed out here. Wedged out. And gradually just kept building. Ran up to its high. To the wedge there. Nice pullback. 24. Notice how it's building in levels. One level at a time. On the big picture here. Nice volume retracement. Volume starts to pick up on it. 24. We just broke this down earlier. Pulls back 24.50 right here. Pulls back now 25 is holding. So look at all these levels that kept building up off of. Ultimately for that 26 break, we break up over 26. We got room to run almost to 27.50, 27. And Twitter had a good run up. Just looking for clusters. Damn, Frank. Don't be too tough on yourself. Bottom line, it boils down always to stock selection. Always try to tell yourself, focus on quality, not garbage. I really like this BTU for that 26 break later on. Run up to 27, 27.50. Been doing everything as I've been planning it. A pull back to 25, run up, bounce, pull back now to 25, 25. As long as we keep building up, 3-minute looks good, 10-minute looks good. We'll run up here, 27, right up to that red line. Just has to keep building. Even with LGVN, that's another good primed one. LGVN holds up at that above that previous day's close and continues to hold this trend on the 10-minute. Low float stock. After SKYH started to crumble through 1150, people are going to give up on it. Scroll out and look at it too. All it really did was it squeezed shorts from yesterday. It achieved that. Once the shorts are all squeezed out, there's really no point in it continuing to run up higher. Don't get me wrong, it still could squeeze again because shorts could get back in on it, think it's finally topped out and over with, and off she goes. The last 3 days, though, from 6, it just ran up all the way to $12. That's an epic run. This is day 3 of it running. Usually on day 3 is when they start crumbling and falling apart too. That VWAP, that's going to be a big level for SKYH. Once it falls below VWAP, the overall sentiment is bearish. Bears are in control. So 1150 later on, that's going to be a key level for it. For any type of squeeze up higher. It really had to have held that 1150 this morning to squeeze up higher. Looks like things are starting to quiet down as we're getting later into the day. We're already approaching 11 a.m. About to be going into lunch hours. Netflix could be trying to gear up here for a little bounce. Tesla got just drilled down. Bitcoin had a good little rally on it. I use Yahoo Finance usually for Bitcoin. But going off of the last 5 days, it hit a new bottom down here. 38,300. And then it had a good run up here. Just up over 40,500. The thing with Bitcoin, and since I've started tracking it a lot more, it loves to have big run-ups and then crash super hard, is what I've noticed a lot with Bitcoin. It's super, super volatile. What will have another run to the upside? SKYH? Look at you, Jay Calvin. Awesome job, man. Traded hour too. Damn, bruh. Look at you holding out on us with hour. Thanks for the alert, brah. Thanks for the alert. Hour here. Once again. New name IPO. This one opened back up here at the beginning of the year. January 7th, 2022. It's a good looking daily chart. Stock has a history. Clearly, it likes to run. All these big green juicy candles here. Those are characteristics you would like to look out for on a daily chart. But nice bottom here. $3. Made its way up to 4. Now it's running up. It'll probably run up here to 6, just under $6. Also where it fell through here. It builds up off that 4, breaks up over 5 and $6. This stock could run all the way back up here near that $8. There's potential with this one. I should make a list of all these new name IPOs. Keep track of them because they've clearly been the theme this year. DERU you're talking about? It's tough to say, man. $14 though for VERU. It's gotta hold above that. If it falls down below 4, it's over with. She's gonna start cracking. But you may see a bounce on it back up to 15 off of that $14. From 15.50, it just trended down nonstop to 14. That's a $1.50 pullback. It's trying to set up right here. It leveled out at 14. It popped up a little. Now it's starting to pull back. It's trying to gear up for that bounce to the upside. Nice volume retracement on it. It's a good setup for just a bounce. Rome asks, what's the 3-day rule again? The 3-day rule is once a stock's been in play for 3 days, like fresh new runners. That's typically how the rule in the play works out. Like let's say for instance, I gotta look for a good example. All right, VLON. This is a perfect example. Once a stock is fresh and in play, typically you'd want to see a stock run up and run up and run up day 1, day 2, day 3. But on day 3, once it falls down below that VWAP, that's where all the short sellers are putting their stop loss. And you'd plot out that level for your short squeeze. Basing your risk off of that VWAP. I don't really have a good example of a stock running 3 days straight that's fresh, up, and new. SKYH, but that's been in play. See SKYH here. This day, oops, that's too big. This day doesn't really count because it gave back all of its gains. But day 1, day 2, now we're in day 3 here. We could zoom in on this. Stock had a good run up, and now it starts to crack that VWAP. Short sellers start getting in on it, and they put their risk just above that VWAP on day 3. And typically by day 3 of a stock running, naturally it's going to start exhausting itself, right? Day 3 of it running straight, it's about time for it to be coming to an end. That's the thinking with it. And that's what I learned from Alex from my investment club. Yeah, our straight up exploded, man. With it exploding up so much like that, though, price action violently swung up on the daily chart. You're going to want to see that $4 hold and build up off of that. So this is where people out there and you guys watching this, you're all going to depict this information differently. See, for me, I'm the type of trader, I'm here every single day. So when I put out levels, I can wait days and weeks for a stock to set up for a potential opportunity. Some people may take the information that I'm giving them and use it for today only, or today and tomorrow. When I say our has to hold up at this $4, I can keep this stock on watch for the next couple weeks. And as long as it holds up at that $4, I'll keep it on watch and I'll keep it on radar. My job is to keep tabs on stocks that I see potential opportunity in and stalk them for opportunity. How many times have we seen big runners day one and then they sell off and there's no bounce? And we've seen stocks sell off for a week, 2 weeks straight. And then on day 10, they get that epic bounce, you know? Same thing here with like LGVN. We've been stalking LGVN the last few days, and it's still currently just setting up. It hasn't really made its move yet. It's still in limbo and setting up, so we're going to keep tabs on it, take it a day at a time, and see how it develops and plays out. Look at that NKTX. This thing's been pulling back tightly all day. Oh, it looks like VERU stalled out at 14 too. Type of stuff happens all the time. You could see a potential setup like we put together right there, how it was setting up. Not all your plans are going to pan out like you think. That's when you have to stick with your stop loss in your plan. If the stock fell below your stop loss, get the hell out. Don't hold and hope that it comes back. Remember what we were just talking about earlier? Admitting defeat, admitting when you're wrong. Nobody likes to admit when they're wrong. It's a shitty feeling. But in the stock market, you have to. Yeah, this VLON was looking good for a potential squeeze up over $2 on how tightly it was pulling back here. Clear bottom there, but it fell right through that too. And down she goes now to $1.50. This stock's done. Now you see there too, with FRGE, with that morning run up, it ran up to $16, right? See how quickly it crumbled and crashed down? I think somebody said, look at FRGE dumped. Is it done for? And we plotted out that green line here at 14. When you look at the bigger time frame on it, see, it's a totally different story when you look at a bigger time frame. As long as it can hold up at that 14 and build up off of that, it's still got potential. Like I've said times before, don't let that 1 minute time frame punk you out. The 1 minute time frame, even though I like to give out a lot of examples with it and break down a lot of plays, it can give you a lot of false signals and make a stock look weak when in reality it has potential and strength. That's why it's good to have multiple different time frames up in front of your face so you could stay aligned with the big picture, what's going on. Nice bottom there at 1250. It ripped up to these old highs right here, 16. Now with it pulling back down, see right where it's holding up at? To me, it looks good. There's potential there. So if it can continue to build up off that 14, make its way back up 1550, 16, builds up and breaks up over that, we got all that room to the upside here to run all the way up to 20 if it wanted. Hold resistance here. It's all in the way you look at the chart. I've said that to you guys multiple times, and when you look at charts, you got to look at it like art. LGVN starting to fall through 12. It's testing that trend line. We crack. We're falling to 1150. BKKT halted up. Big rip on BKKT. I don't see any news of the partnership with Apple Pay and Google Pay. I don't see it on Street Smart Edge. All I see is for a law firm telling investors to contact them if they have losses exceeding $100,000 or more. That's a nasty reopen for BKKT. It's on Thinkorswim. You know, to be honest, I've never really used Thinkorswim for its news feed. I've always thought that their news feed was kind of, I never liked their news feed. Since then, I don't know if they've made it better. But then again, you know, Thinkorswim, they're and TD Ameritrade, they're partnered with Benzinga. I forgot about that. Look at here at the Benzinga website. You know, with Elon Musk, just an idea now that I'm seeing this press release here with Dogecoin. Remember when Elon Musk proposed to Twitter to accept Dogecoin or cryptocurrency for their payment system for their subscription, Twitter Blue or something? Now that he owns it, he may try implementing that in the future. I swear, is there like a spammer in the Discord trying to comment something and the bot is quickly deleting it? Because I swear I keep getting alerts from these different channels in the server that someone commented in the channel, and when I click on it, there's nothing in there. I could have sworn the Tuesday I just seen a quick message pop up and then quickly get deleted. It's been a while since I visited Benzinga here. How to buy. See, look at here. This is one thing that a lot of people can overlook with a lot of questions with your different brokers out there. I've always said to you guys, don't be afraid to open up different brokers and see what they offer, because everyone's going to offer something different and it's going to meet your needs. For me, like I've said, I like Street Smart Edge and Charles Schwab. I love the charts. I love the stock screener. I love the news feed. But to trade with these guys, to day trade with them, they're garbage for day trading. That's why I use TD Ameritrade and Thinkorswim. But with TD Ameritrade and Thinkorswim, I don't like their charts. I don't like their level 2 and all of that. So I just use it for trading. It's got really good execution and trading, and I get margin on all of these small cap penny stocks. Charles Schwab, they have a margin list. So if you wanted to trade BKKT and day trade it, you'd have to go and check the margin list on Charles Schwab to see if it's on the margin list. If it's not on the margin list, then if you do trade this, your account will be treated like a cash account, and you'd have to wait a couple days for those funds to settle for you to use those funds again. That's why I say with Schwab, they're more geared towards like swing trading and long-term investing. And here with all these different brokers here, you see how it says best for Webull, intermediate traders and investors, interactive brokers. It's best for global and active traders. So if you're overseas or something and you're living in the UK, interactive brokers may be your go-to broker, because I've heard a lot of people have a hard time getting Charles Schwab or E-Trade even in the States. SoFi is best for IPO investing. E-Trade is best for desktop trading with their E-Trade Pro. What's that? Tradier brokerage, inexpensive options trading. So if you're an options trader, that's your go-to broker there. That's what they specialize in. See, Charles Schwab, they're best for fund investing. Charles Schwab, they're not really known for day trading. That's why when I see people trying to trade with Schwab, I'm telling you, they're not good for day trading. Maybe if you're trading large cap stocks, because you get unlimited margin with large cap, but for trading small cap stocks, they're garbage. But eRo, that's for copy trading. Exodus, stacking crypto plus earning rewards. Oh wow, old army guy. Yeah, and that's the thing too with those spammers, man. They're always spamming about crypto and Bitcoin and Dogecoin. It's discouraging to see that, because it's like I wanna dabble and get more involved with Bitcoin, but then I don't, because there's a lot of scammers out there that rip people off and scam people out of Bitcoin. And I know if I start making content on Bitcoin, it's only going to come with more spammers and scammers. And that's the last thing I want. Rome C said, wow, just saw this on Yahoo Finance. Fidelity to allow Bitcoin in 401k retirement plans. You know what it's probably? It's probably the Bitcoin ETF, BITO. Remember we were just talking about how Acorns now has a Bitcoin ETF to add into your portfolio. It puts 5% of your portfolio into the Bitcoin ETF. Yep, I got distracted. There went BTU over 26. Told you guys BTU looked pretty good. You take it one level at a time. This morning, when it was down here at 2450s, it ran all the way up to 26. So from 2450, ran all the way up to 26. And when it pulled back, we said 25. That's where we drew out that green line. It pulled right down to that 25, up to almost 26 again. Then we put our next line near this 25.25. And you see how it just kept building in levels to the upside, gearing up for that $26 break. So now that it's up over 26, you'd want to see it pull back and hold at 26. Or even, it could even pull back down here to 25.50, the area it broke out from. But this has got room to run up to 27. That's the target for BTU. You got to look at it in a sense. This topped out up here. And for one straight day here, it pulled back. Now going into day 2, notice in the morning there, it stalled out. It had failed momentum there. So now day 2, straight. See how prices got driven down lower? You got to look at this as if it's like a rubber band getting pulled back. And all that tension is building up. And just off of yesterday's video lesson that I released to you guys, I remember what I said? Listen to charts. They will tell you when it's time. Day 3 here starts leveling out and starts to build up off of that low. See how it tested that low multiple times for the day? Tested that low multiple times and built up off of it. And then at the end of the day, it had a good run up. And then it had a slight pullback, went sideways, then going into this day here, see how it's gapping up a little bit? Right there. That's good. Always keep the big picture in mind. Don't ever get caught up in just zooming into a chart like this. It's always good to zoom out on your charts and get an idea of the big picture at hand. I just remember when I was new, I would never zoom out on my charts. Never. I would always be zoomed in on just the pre-market and the current day. I would never zoom out on my charts. I would always be zoomed in like this. And by being zoomed in like this, and plus, I didn't have a 3-minute and a 10-minute time frame up. All I would have up was my 1-minute chart and a daily chart. That's how much of a noob I was. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So zoom out on your charts, guys, I'm telling you. Makes your job a hell of a lot easier. Well, that's a good strategy to have there. The local Democrat Party called me for a donation to their candidate. I responded that I would make a $10K donation to his opponent if they called again. They never called again. Oh yeah, the volume is super low with this stock. And that NUTX got drilled. See, look at ATER bottomed out right at that $5. Right at 5, bottomed out. Tested that bottom multiple times. See how it built up off that 5. Now it's pushing up, trying to retest the day highs up near 550. And then gradually here with the 10-minute time frame. Remember when we were looking at this chart, what was it, like an hour ago? And we picked up on how the moving averages were setting up for a squeeze. You see how over time, how tightly these moving averages are getting? It's setting up still. It held at 5 and it's building for that potential squeeze. Out of all of the indicators that are out there, volume and moving averages are probably your top 2. Everybody uses moving averages. Everybody. I seen a stream this morning before I started to go live. Let me see if I can find it. It was titled like Charts and Coffee or something. Yeah, there we go. This girl right here. I don't know how well known she is, but I'm looking at this and I'm like, damn, you got enough going on with your charts there? How the hell are you? What the hell am I looking at? Just way too much going on. I mean, look at that. How are you able to identify and see? Like, keep it simple. This to me is just really overcomplicating things. Like, you got so much going on here. You even have your candlesticks, all types of different colors. You're just going to simply overlook the simplicity of the thing. It's called analysis paralysis. Way too much going on there. Way too much. What we got there? We got stochastics, MACD, CCI, trend neutral, Momo neutral. It's a lot going on, man. It's a lot. Way too much going on there. You see how technical people like to try to make it, you guys? It doesn't need to be like that. It doesn't. Just keep it simple, man. Stocks like to build up in levels. They like to build down in levels. Focus on psychological price levels. Just listen to the chart. It'll tell you a story. All you're depicting is a battle between the bulls and the bears. That's it. Either one or the other is winning, or it's neutral. VERU. All it's doing is getting a nice bounce. That's all it's doing. It's gonna bounce up to 15. So let's see here. We bottomed out, looks like at 1375. From that $14. This stock is starting to be a grindy type stock, huh? See how volume retraced on it and then volume lifted back up? Even right here. See how volume stepping down. And then even when it was testing its lows, not right there. Let me see if I can get this perfect. There we go. See when it was trying to test its lows right there? The bears were trying to step up and take control with the power. But bulls were able to come in and step in. And volume was stepping down to that. Now it's lifting up and bulls are in control. And that's the whole thing right there. All the answers are in front of your face with volume, price action, and the candlesticks. You don't need all of those unnecessary indicators. All they're going to do is distract you from what's in front of you. As we've brought this up and mentioned it many, many times before, people may overcomplicate concepts you inquire into for the sake of making them seem difficult to understand. If it's difficult to understand for you, then you must have overcome difficulty on their journey towards mastering that domain. The desire to be perceived as a person who has overcome barriers is a strong one. Why do people overcomplicate things? The answer perhaps to why we overcomplicate things is because that's the easy thing to do. Ironically, it takes thought and effort to keep things simple, and that is what makes it more valuable to us as humans. You guys should actually take a snippet of this. Why do people overcomplicate things? Take a snippet of that and save that. It takes thought and effort to keep things simple. It's just like when people say, like, damn, man, you're good at breaking down charts and doing technical analysis. And it's like, in a way, when I hear people say that, it's like I'm not doing anything special. All I'm doing is when I approach every single one of these charts and I look at them, I have an open mind. I'm not afraid to be open-minded and look at it and admire it. What do I see unfolding at hand? How did it play out over time? Have an open mind and just look at it and how it built up and fell down. And by practicing this simple technique over and over again every day, and how every day with you guys, I'm sitting here, we're drawing up charts like this, seeing how it ripped up and it pulled back and held from where it broke up through that wedge, how it broke down and got drilled down. By practicing this, you're only getting better and better and better. And then that's when you start believing in yourself and what you're seeing. It's really just keeping it simple. That's why I laugh when people throw on like RSI. It's like RSI, I don't need an indicator to tell me when a stock's oversold or overbought. And when you really look at it, RSI, I don't know if they really have. See, this one, over the course of time, when you look at RSI, it's really the same thing being played out on the chart. Yeah, this is really the only RSI they have. But when you look at it, the stock's up here at its highs. See how it's up there at its high? And then it dips down here, dips down there, runs back up, dips down, dips down. It's like the same thing's being played out right here. Focus on this. Don't focus on this. I think it's a more of a psychological issue of people wanting validation from something to buy and sell. They don't want to trust in themselves.